Hi, I'm Joan Newcomb, and today's Mystic Minute is all about not resisting. We have some really intense times coming up. We're actually already in really intense times, and things are changing so fast that it is very easy to resist what is coming up. And the thing is that when you resist, you solidify your energy and you get stuck with what's happening. You get hit with it more. It impacts you more. And the resistance keeps you from being able to go with the flow, make adjustments and changes as you go along. So I have to say, even if you get some shocking and unexpected news and you're like, I had no idea this was going on, there's part of you, a little voice in the back of your head that did know it was going on, because you as consciousness know everything and are continually planning your next adventure ahead. When you can relax into that awareness and not resist whatever is going on for you, then it opens you to new possibilities. As painful as that change may be, as much as you don't want it to happen, there's a greater part of you that can expand to a new way of being through it. So when you don't resist it, when you don't try to keep it the way it was or steer it back to the way it was, then it opens up to being something new and opens you up to solutions that you could never have imagined. I'm always referencing this period of time, but when my mother was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, and I went there with 2 suitcases. I was thinking I was going to help her pack up her house and move into a facility. I was there a month and she fell and broke her pelvis, and they found cancer in the hospital, and the next thing I knew, I was fighting the cancer instead of the Alzheimer's, and the next thing I knew, I was hunkering down, sheltering in place, helping this woman die in her own home. And I was there for 2 years. I was living out of 2 suitcases for the first year. I was hunkering down in her guest room. Then I imported my husband and we hunkered down in the recreation room in the basement. It was a continuous time of not resisting what was and adjusting to what was new. And being able to be open, even though it was excruciatingly painful, allowed me to see the bigger picture, that I was actually there to help midwife her back to spirit, and that my job at that moment was to be very present with her, create moments of joy, to help this woman's experience leaving be as easy and effortless as possible. I may not have used the exact words at that time, but that was my focus. We just got the news on Sunday that we had to move, and we found a place to move to Sunday afternoon. That was not resisting what had been the undercurrents of developing and opening and accepting to the creation that already was. It wasn't madly scrambling in fear and panic to see what was available and coping with and just making do and accepting what we had. It was effortlessly opening to the new information, pivoting to the next step, going in that direction. It's a very interesting and dynamic time, and you might be finding things happening to you that are shocking and unexpected. Sudden layoffs at your job, that opens up to new possibilities. When you don't resist it, when you open to the new possibilities, you find yourself a better position than you could have possibly imagined. Relationships ending or transforming in a different way. You just open up to that new experience. I didn't fight my mother's Alzheimer's. When she started calling me by her sister's name, it didn't break my heart. Yes, it was a little tough at first because she used to be the person I always used to call when I had problems. Suddenly she was the problem. So it opened up to something new. It grew into something bigger. It was a life-changing experience. And was an incredible blessing at the end. Your changes might not be that difficult. Your changes might be that excruciating. As consciousness, you can handle it. As consciousness, you ultimately created it. Doesn't mean like it's your fault or you're to blame. All of those are really, lower level perceptions. It is simply not resisting, opening up, and bigger and more amazing things can happen. So imagine how your world would be different if you didn't resist. Doesn't mean that you're surrendering or you're allowing yourself to be tromped on or whatever. What non-resisting does is it really makes you neutral and open, and negative things just pass right through. They don't set up camp on your doorstep because you're not resisting them. They'll just pass you by. They'll just dissipate. They'll just become the best friends you ever had. So play with this and see how it changes your life. If you like these videos, you can subscribe to them on YouTube. You can also sign up below to get them in your inbox. If you want to know more, my website is joan-newcomb.com. I have a weekly radio show and podcast. I also have a weekly blog and newsletter. I do meetups around the Puget Sound in Seattle, Tacoma, Bellevue, and University Place. For everyone else around the world, besides the podcasts, I have monthly webinars. And if you want to know more about how to navigate your life as consciousness, how to not resist but go with the flow from a higher consciousness, upgraded way of being, go to my website, joan-newcomb.com, and look at my coaching programs. So go to joan-newcomb.com, and I'll see you in another few days with another Mystic Minute.